All right, joining me now, the 56th Speaker of the United States House of Representatives and the man who has Republicans all marching in the same direction in Congress. That's something hard to do, Speaker Mike Johnson. Mr. Speaker, good to have you on the show, sir.
John, great to be with you, my friend. You're doing such an extraordinary job, and I'm always delighted to join you when I can.
I'm honored, sir. It's great to have you on. All right, I want to start about talking about our troops. I walked into the studio today. There were some great National Guard troops outside. If it weren't for President Trump's tradecraft, they would not be getting a paycheck this month. He made it possible. You got a bill through the House that gave troops a pay raise. Democrats voted against it. You've tried 9 times to get the government open so those troops will be assured of paychecks. Why are Democrats in this position and being so anti-military right now?
Well, that's a great question. Everybody wants to know the why. They have chosen to shut the government down, and it's now, as you noted, 9 times in the Senate. They've voted to continue this charade. We worked very hard. We passed the bill September 19th in the House. It's a clean, continuing resolution. And what that simply means for the folks back home, as we all know now, is that it's just a stopgap funding measure. We just needed 7 more weeks on the calendar to finish the appropriations process. We're trying very hard to restore stewardship to this expenditure of taxpayer funds. And you need 12 separate appropriations bills to do it. Congress hasn't worked that way in a long time. And we were rebuilding that muscle memory in the middle of that process, just needed more time on the clock because the end of the fiscal year is September 30th. So we passed a simple measure. John, this is what's so important. It's the exact same measure that Chuck Schumer himself voted for in March. The continuing resolution. He gave an impassioned speech on the floor saying it was so important. And now you have 44 Senate Democrats who are holding it up, refusing to vote for it because they want to shut the government down for political purposes. The why is very simple. Chuck Schumer is afraid that he is going to be the next victim of the rise of Marxism in the Democratic Party. As we all know, a Marxist, Mamdani, is likely to be elected mayor of New York City, as shocking as that is. And it shocks Chuck Schumer, too, because while he is a very leftist, progressive politician, he's not fully a communist, and so he's not the flavor of the day. And he's afraid that he's going to get a challenge in his next Senate reelect, and that's what this entire charade is about. They have picked a fight with Trump and Republicans so that Chuck Schumer can show that he's tough somehow. But the danger is that they're harming real Americans. I mean, it's not just troops, it's federal employees, it's TSA agents and Border Patrol and air traffic controllers and people who we rely upon to keep America safe and secure, as well as nutrition programs for young pregnant women and health services for veterans and all the other things the federal government does. They're suspending that for raw political purposes, and there's no other way to see it.
Yeah, and the woman who most likely would challenge Chuck Schumer, AOC, was on television last night alongside of Bernie Sanders. There were some pretty remarkable exchanges, but no more sharp a contrast about the difference between Republicans, middle America, and where the left is right now. I don't know if you had a chance to see some of the things they said, but it does seem like they're on a different planet sometimes.
Well, they're definitely on a different planet. I didn't see any of it. I don't have time to watch AOC and Bernie's talking points. They're making videos about me half the day. I don't get time to do any of that because I'm trying to run the ship of state here. But I will say this, as we concluded our press conference yesterday, we do a daily reset every morning to make sure the American people know the simple truth and not the obfuscation that the Democrats are engaged in. But I said what you just said, John. I said that Americans are watching a split screen. On one side, you have President Trump and the Republican Party who are delivering for the American people. I mean, we're cutting their taxes. We're cutting regulations to get the economy going again. We're ending the crime crisis around the country. We have ended the border crisis. We're ending fraud, waste, and abuse in government, making it work more efficiently, effectively for the people. And now President Trump is resolving international conflicts around the globe. I mean, it's an extraordinary record. That's on one side. And then look at the split screen. Look at the Democrats on the other side. What have they done in the last 9 months? Nothing. The only thing they've accomplished is shutting the government down. So, I mean, this contrast is so stark, and the chasm between the philosophy of the two parties now is wider than it has ever been. We are defending the foundational principles of America, restoring its greatness, American strength on the world stage and domestically, and the Democrats are electing Marxists and championing that. You know, Saturday, they're going to be parading around the National Mall. They call it the No Kings Rally. We call it the Hate America Rally. Usually have all the Marxists collected, all the Antifa people, you know, the BLM remnants. You'll have the pro-Hamas wing of the Democratic Party, and they're going to be out here demonstrating and screaming and wailing. And I'm afraid that Senate Democrats will not reopen the government until at least that event is behind them because they're afraid to confront the mob. So, I mean, look at the contrast between the two parties. The evidence speaks for itself, and I think the American people are going to fully understand this when we head into those midterm elections next year.
Oh, yeah. You're already starting to see numbers move in a really remarkable direction on that election. Long way out, but I think they see the record Republicans have built. Is there any chance that Republicans fold their cards on this, or do you hold the line and make the Democrats finally fold?
No, we hold the line. I mean, obviously, the truth is on our side. This is simple. We're not playing games here. I was asked in the press conference 2 days ago, Mr. Speaker, when will you change your political strategy? I said, I'm not advancing a political strategy. I'm doing our job. We're just trying to keep the lights on. It really is as simple as that. I mean, John, we could have loaded up the stopgap funding measure, the CR, with partisan political priorities, Republican priorities, but we didn't because we're operating in good faith. So I can't go and negotiate something. I can't go to Chuck Schumer and say, oh, gee, let me pull off these three, high priority Republican policy writers. Yeah. There are none on the document. It's 24 pages long. It just says keep the lights on. So they're the ones playing games, and we hope that all of the American people ultimately will see through that. The mainstream media, the legacy media, of course, are parroting the talking points of Chuck Schumer every day, advancing the Schumer shutdown, while they also bemoan the losses to real American people. And we're pointing out the obvious. It is Chuck Schumer alone and 43 of his Senate Democrat colleagues who hold the keys to this. We need 60 votes in the Senate. Yeah. We only have 53 Republicans. We have to have a few of them come along with us.
You got this clean CR out early. There was plenty of time for this to get resolved in the Senate. Obviously, the Democrats did it. What sort of things are Democrats keeping Congress from doing next? Because you still have some really big ideas of making America better. What are some of the things they're blocking right now because the government shut down?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of important work still on the table before we get to the end of the year. We have the National Defense Authorization Act, which is our policy on national defense. Yeah. I mean, obviously, national security, very, very important right now. Our race with China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, and all the other adversaries of the country, that's being held up. We have the appropriations process itself, which is really what this is about. This is a funding fight, and we are working through the process to spend less money and spend money more efficiently and effectively. We've got to get immediately back to that so we can finish it up and get that job done. And of course, we have been working on Reconciliation 2.0. The One Big Beautiful Bill was a landmark piece of legislation, a phenomenal achievement for our party and for the country. The Working Families Tax Cut, we also call it. But that's just the first of several steps. We would like to do another reconciliation bill. And the reason reconciliation process is so important and valuable to us is because we don't need 60 votes. It's the one exception to the necessity of 60 votes in the Senate. You can do a reconciliation bill reconciling a budget with only 51 votes, a bare majority. So we can do that on our own. We don't have to, have Chuck Schumer holding it up. He doesn't have an ability to. So a lot of really important work. That's just, a few of a number of things that are on the table. And by the way, on healthcare, which they claim this is about, it's a red herring. This is a funding fight, not a healthcare fight. But there's the Obamacare COVID-era subsidies that expire December 31st. And there's a lot of heated debate that we've got to have in the House and Senate to figure out what to do about that. If there is any extension at all, it has to have massive reform. And we have 535 members that have to go and arm wrestle and debate through all that. So we need all the time on the clock. And they are eating that clock away right now with these partisan political games. And I think people can see right through it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I want to turn to one thing. Over the last decade, has provided us a lot of evidence that it's becoming easier and easier for the government to collect much larger amounts of telephone records. We have 8 senators and 1 House member whose phone records are rifled through by the FBI while they were doing their normal constitutional business in Congress. Yesterday, we learned that Adam Kinzinger was talking to the FBI about 30 million lines of data Congress had collected, making sure the FBI was going to make use of it. You are a great civil and constitutional lawyer. Is it time maybe to put some greater protections on our private phone conversations and our private phone records?
I think that the time has come for certain. What you've uncovered there is alarming, John. We knew the January 6th committee was a fraudulent operation from the get-go. I mean, you had 2 so-called Republicans serving on it. They were on the team of the Democrats, Kinzinger and Cheney, and everybody knows now it's infamous what they did. I believe they destroyed evidence, but we did not know the scope of the abuses and the fact that they were, collecting 30 million metadata phone lines of correspondence with the White House for the political purpose of using it in the election, the last election cycle, is is stunning to us. And so, yes, there have to be some safeguards. I mean, the Constitution provides us a level of privacy, and there are protections that are built into the Constitution. But, this has gotten out of hand. And the idea that you had, 8 members of the Senate and a House Republican that were having their phone lines tapped effectively, and that Adam Kinzinger, as you've reported, offered all this to the FBI on the eve of the 24 election for nefarious purposes is beyond the pale. I mean, it's a gross violation of the speech and debate clause of the Constitution that allows for Congress to do its work. To have a former colleague turn on his colleagues in the House and try to use this data that had been collected for political purposes, it illustrates the problem here. And I think the time has come for us to reevaluate all of that.
Yeah, it's important. One last thing, nonprofits. We now know nonprofits have been used for a lot of political abuse. We see nonprofits being used now to fund groups that then foment violence, unrest, anti-Semitism, hatred in America. Is there some tax reform targeting the nonprofit world to make sure that when we give someone a tax exemption, it really creates a public benefit?
Well, that's a great point. These NGOs, as they're called, have been abused in so many ways and wasted money, fraud, waste, and abuse. We found that the Doge effort with the magic algorithms that were trolling through the data helped us to uncover some of this that we never could have even imagined. And so having that new trove of data and that new insight into how this is done spurs on congressional action to fix it. So lots of ideas on the table. We've got the committees of jurisdiction looking into that. But I think it's an urgent necessity. I mean, there's been so many abuses and so much nefarious activity and so many harms done to the American people because of this. I think it's incumbent upon Congress to take affirmative steps to make sure that doesn't happen in the future.
Yeah, probably create some new tax revenues, too, from people who probably should have been paying taxes all along. Mr. Speaker, a great honor to have you on the show today. Thanks for joining us on such a busy day. Really appreciate it.
Great to see you, my friend. Keep up the great work.
I will, sir. You as well. Thank you so much. All right, folks, a quick commercial break. More, right?